NFT gaming is going to be one of the best investments you can make when it comes to getting huge gains in 2022. So here are gonna be 3 NFT gaming projects that I'm looking at. Now, the first project that we're gonna be talking about is going to be Legends of Venari. I first saw this a couple months ago, but I never gave it a chance. I saw more and more people talk about it. I'm like, okay, so let's dive into it. Looking at this game, the art is pretty sweet. They are in the shape of polygons, meaning that it's gonna be a lot easier for a computer to render because there's not as many triangles, right? More triangles, the difficult it is. And you wanna pay attention to that because the easier it is to run a game on a computer, the more people can play it, especially in developing countries, which are a really big market for play to earn. And to give you an idea of what Venari is, it's basically like Pokemon, where you go out and you capture these creatures, and there's different tier of these creatures, like level 1, level 2, level 3. Your whole goal is to capture them, use them to fight, and level them up and things like that. It's not exactly the same, but definitely inspired. Now, when you are popping into their Discord, they got 13,000 members, which is pretty decent, but the actual art is pretty sweet. Like the way they set up the background, the way they did the creatures. A lot of times I see these crypto games, they just don't look good, right? It doesn't look that fun to play. But this one, it visually is aesthetic. It's something that the mainstream can be like, oh, you know, that's a very interesting game, let me check it out. They're gonna have some tokenomics. Each base pass is gonna have exclusive access with friends and family and earn Venari, which is a token, right? The pass I believe they're talking about is these passes that you can buy on OpenSea. The price of each one is gonna be 0.5 ETH, so it's not that cheap for everybody, but it's gonna allow you to play the alpha or beta version of this game, which is actually currently out right now. And that's really cool that, you know, people that buy the pass early can earn tokens because it's almost like passive income in a sense. It's free to play, which is great, right? I really like free to play games because it allows people to join in on the fun without having to pay money, because how do you know if you really like a game if you don't try it, right? I think that's gonna be really good for onboarding people. But right now to play, you need the battle pass just because it's in beta. The alpha passes were already on sale. I just showed you that in December. They're gonna be dropping airdrops for these alpha pass holders, meaning that if you did buy one now for 0.5 ETH, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but if you wanted that free airdrop, this is the opportunity to do it. They're gonna provide more utility. They create a unique battling system. Right now in the actual alpha of the game, you can't really battle anybody. You can only find these Venaris and catch them, and nothing's really going on. That's what you can expect from alpha. But what I appreciate about this company is that they're not saying like, oh, we gotta spend years to build this before you can like try it. It's like, how about we as a company will build this with you so that we make this game as good as possible. Whenever a company is building with their community, the chances of that game actually succeeding is a lot higher because they're constantly listening to the community feedback. I'm guessing that, you know, when you have your Venaris in this game, you could probably transport them into different worlds like the Sandbox, Decentraland. The future is like when you create an asset in a game, like these are all gonna be NFTs that you can catch and you can sell on OpenSea and make real money. Instead of them being trapped in one game, you could take those assets and put them in different worlds. And I think that's the future. If you think about like Ready Player One, for example, you're not stuck in one world, you take your assets anywhere in all the different universes, and that is the future of gaming. So in general, I think they're probably a smaller team working on this project. There's not a whole lot going on quite yet. It's in alpha, but they did just raise a bunch of money by selling these passes. So if you're interested in learning about this game, just pick up a pass. And also it is an interesting speculation because if this game becomes popular, there are benefits to holding the passes. You're gonna get discounts for their store in the future. You get airdrops. So it might actually be a pretty good opportunity if you're looking for that. And of course, always be mindful of when you enter and exit if you're trying to speculate and flip. The next game that we're gonna be talking about is a new game that hasn't come out. There's nothing to buy yet, and it's called Raid Party. I want to give you an early opportunity to check out this game because if you do go into the Discord and you verify and everything, and there's ways to like put in your address, connect your wallet to it, and you're gonna get like special airdrops or maybe special whitelists. Talking about Raid Party itself, it's gonna be the on-chain idle MMO. Why that's important is because it's on-chain, meaning all the data, all the gameplay, all the graphics, all the pixels, and all that is going to be on-chain on the Ethereum blockchain, not hosted on a random server, which is great. And that's why everything has to be like 2D and simple from a graphic perspective because it's all on the Ethereum blockchain. There's not a whole lot of teasers and stuff going on for this game quite yet, but the user interface looks pretty cool. They partner with EtherOrcs as a collaboration to get the word out. EtherOrcs is one of the first fully fleshed out like on-chain game. They also collaborated with other people as well, and I'm finding projects that are already successful and they're integrating those characters and IP into this game. And why that's a benefit for everyone is because like Kaiju Kings and EtherOrcs gets more utility because your holders would be like, oh, I could put my Kaiju King in this game and I want to play this game, right? Now those projects become more valuable. And then as Raid Party, your project also becomes more valuable because you integrate all these great projects in your game. So it's almost like, you know, the modern day of like cross promotion and cross marketing. So they say the game is going to be an MMO. I guess it kind of looks like MapleStory or maybe a World of Warcraft where you level up your character. Not too much detail on it, so it's hard to say like how it would look, especially if everything's going to be like a 2D MMO. And the team behind it, well, I don't believe they are docs, meaning they kind of anonymous. They have these anonymous personalities on the internet. What I really appreciate about them is that they really go hard when it comes to to analyzing previous on-chain like RPG type of games and seeing where their economics and tokenomics might be broken. And they're very transparent on how they're trying to fix it, right? If you don't get your economics right, you know, your token in game can completely crash because like inflation can kill your entire economy. It's really cool that they are openly building with the community from the get. I mean, they have like 72,000 members on their Discord. Straight up, that's actually quite a lot of people if they're all like real. I think just from an aesthetic standpoint, I think they got minimal viable community fit, meaning that they have a certain audience that they're appealing to, that 2D gaming kind of person who's into like the stats and like leveling up, and they're partnering up with all these like other brands and partnerships and bringing more eyeballs onto it. So they definitely have a strong community. And why that's so important is because as long as they're honest, they're transparent on how they're building, they continue to make their art look good, I think that whatever game they put out, right off the bat, people will try it just because they're building up that community. And you can never underestimate community, because like if you have a strong community that supports anything that you do, they will literally try, buy everything you do. I'm really bullish on that. And if you want some alpha, just connect your wallet to their website, and then they say they might give you something special. There's ways to earn points in that. So go on to Discord, learn about it, see if it's for you. So the next project that we're gonna be talking about is going to be DeFi Kingdoms. Now this is a game that is going to be built on another layer one called Harmony One. Think of it like a competitor to Solana, ADA, Ethereum. Basically, it's like another chain, Harmony One. They are a game where it's gonna be a leveling up kind of game. You have your character, you put them on quests, and you level them up, buy different NFTs that represent your character, and you earn tokens and things like that. So why is this game interesting? Well, first of all, it's like one of the most successful games on Harmony One. And before it was kind of like under the radar, but all of a sudden like they're blowing up. And when it comes to like the price of their token, this is what pretty much caught my attention and thousands of other people around the world, where basically the token is worth like $6. And then suddenly now it's worth like 21 and like 20. So it's like getting this huge surge of people wanting to play this game. And I listened to a few interviews of people actually playing the game, and a lot of people say they like it. It's one of the first games where people can openly admit in public like they would play this game even if there wasn't a DeFi element to it. But because there is a DeFi element, I think they hit that product market fit. People are getting paid to play this game, they're getting rewarded, and now it's just exploding. The #1 game on Harmony, they're claiming. It is actually the #1 game on Harmony, and there's not too many games on Harmony, to be fair. When you look at this game, it's very technical, so it's not for the average person to really understand, like, because you have to pool your stuff and swap your coins, and like there's like land, there's a DeFi element, how do you make more money over time? It's for people who really like that DeFi element of like yield farming and finding the best deals and getting like 1,000 APY. If you don't know what those things are, then it's kind of hard to get into. But if you do, then it's kind of the game for you, because it's just like taking any DeFi protocol, putting a layer of gaming on top of it, and then boom, that's a game. Because it already came out, it pumped up really hard. So a lot of people who bought in really early, they are sitting pretty well in terms of like how much profit they're making. I don't really know if it's a good time to get in this game and start playing it. What I would do instead is look at this game and understand, you know, how they became successful, whether they're tokenomics, why do people like it, and then go out and try to find different projects, try to see what's gonna be the next DeFi Kingdom, and then try to get in early for those opportunities. So definitely a project to study as a case study, but if you wanna learn how to play this game and you like enjoy that stuff, check it out as well. So those are gonna be some of the top gaming NFTs we have for today. I'll see you guys in the next one.